Hello. Hi guys. Annyeong. How are you guys doing? This is so exciting for me. I have been wanting to go live for literally forever. I have been wanting to go live. I'm getting red because I'm like embarrassed, like I'm like shy. Hi guys. But I've been wanting to go live for forever. I just want to, yeah, I just like to feel like I know you guys and just be real, honest. I'm in Korea. I'm in quarantine. There's so much. We can talk about that for probably a year and a half with how much I have to say right now about quarantine. But I just feel like there's a lot of experiences that I've had lately that would be fun to share, fun to talk about. And yeah, you guys are awesome. So anybody that comes on here, hi, I'd love to know who you are. Say hello in the chat so I can see who I'm talking with, because right now you look like two little circle heads with some very round bodies. So I have no idea who it is. And I also, it's probably your username. So I'm not gonna, yeah, like Kokoro. I love that. Kokoro. That's fun. Hi, how you doing? I don't know how to pronounce names well. So that's already a huge weakness of mine. Hi, Marty. How you doing? How are you guys doing? I love this hotel that I'm currently staying at. I'm in the Hyatt. We love this place, other than the fact that I can't open this window. The not being able to open a window when you're stuck inside of a room for 2 weeks would not I wouldn't recommend. I really wouldn't recommend. It's kind of dusty in here. It's very dusty in here. And I did a very good job at trying my best to clean as much as I could. But the dust, it's like flying around, and to like not get any fresh air. And if I touch anything, it just kind of goes poof with dust. It's not the most comforting. You know what I mean? Not the most comforting thing. But I am doing well. Thank you for asking. I'm doing much, much better. You asked, do I still have jet lag? So I'm actually doing a whole lot better than I was round 1 of quarantine. And I wouldn't say I'm all that. I'm actually surprisingly not struggling with the time thing. When I got here, y'all, when the vlogs go up from this quarantine experience, the first 2 days here were horrid. I kind of had a panic attack and I got really sick actually. And I was so sick that I just slept. I slept for like I think I slept for almost 30 hours in like the first 2 days of being here. I would wake up and I would be like, I should probably get the food that's sitting outside of my door so that people don't think I'm like dead. And so I would go get the food and I'd bring it inside and I'd kind of look at it. And I like might eat a little bit of rice, like I wasn't feeling that well. And then I would just go back to bed. And then I would like wake up and be like, I should probably just do all that again. I should get the food and put it. And I ate some stuff, but I was freezing. I was so cold. And so I was just underneath the blankets, like shivering for hours. And so all I wanted to do was sleep to feel better. And then I felt better in like 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 days. In 2 days, I felt a lot better. I think some of it was like jet lag. Some of it was just being sick with whatever I got. I still don't know what I got. Yes, I am vaccinated. Um, I don't think I got COVID because I had all of my tasties, all my taste buds, all of my smellies was all fine. It was just like chills, very weak, very tired. That was like the only symptom that I had. So I'm vaccinated, and being vaccinated obviously helps, someone not get COVID, but you can still get it. So I kind of thought like, did I get COVID? Maybe I did. It was like I got my vaccine card and all that stuff. It was like the beginning of September, so I'm supposed to be in like my prime. It's not like my vaccine was old. But I think I just got some weird flu that was like a 24-hour flu or something like that, or like a few day flu. We're coming up with names. But for people who are vaccinated, sadly, you do need to quarantine. Everybody needs to quarantine for at least one day. Like if you are Korean, like Korean or you have Korean family, you can be vaccinated and get like a vaccine or a quarantine exemption paper. But in order to, or if you're married to a Korean and like you have full residency here in Korea, you can skip quarantine if you do this like whole process of like applying for being exempt from quarantine, but you still have to immediately go get a test taken and stay inside of your house until you get a negative test result, and then you're free to leave. For those of you who are on short-term visas, you have to quarantine in a government facility. No ifs, ands, or buts. You have to quarantine in a government facility. Um, and it's kind of like they don't really validate foreign vaccines. Honestly, like if you did not get your vaccine in Korea as of right now, you still you're still considered unvaccinated. So there's like a QR code that you have to scan whenever you go out to eat anywhere. And there's a specific portion of it that says, like, are you vaccinated or not? And the only way that you can get officially like that quarantine or the vaccine as being like stamped of approval that you are vaccinated is if you got it in Korea. As of right now, there's like a system of like acceptance, and it's only for Korean. They're not even really Korean vaccines, it's just in Korea you got vaccinated because, like, even a lot of Korean vaccines were imported from America, so I don't really understand why the flavor of your quarantine matters. Like, I feel like it should just be wherever you got vaccinated, like, I'm glad you're vaccinated, but yeah, so I'm technically considered unvaccinated. Hey, girl, hey, how you doing? You're so sweet. Thanks for coming on here. But yeah, you gotta quarantine. You gotta live your life up here for 2 weeks, so 14 days, and it starts at like no matter what time you enter. So I got here at like 6 p.m. Some people get to their quarantine facility around like 10 a.m., but that is considered like your first day. So let's say that is the first, you go 2 weeks down, and that's the 14th. You get to leave at you get to leave at 7 a.m. if you want to use like the public transportation. And then if you want to leave via like a family member or a friend or like a taxi that you can buy in advance, I believe, you can give all of that information and leave at midnight on that 14th day. Hi, Marlena. I love you so much. Thank you for coming on here just to say, hey, you're the best. 한국가서 뭐해 너? So I know Korean a little bit. I understand it a little bit, but we're talking like basic phrases. So I can do my best, or I can pop stuff into a translator, but my pronunciation is also pretty horrible. So yes, 14 days is the length of time, but again, it's not like exactly 14 days. So like you can get here at any time. Like I got here at a later evening time. And then it's going to be 2 weeks from that. And you leave. Basically, you're free at midnight on that day. So the exact amount of time is going to be a little bit different depending on when you arrive. But yeah, so I am vaccinated. And even if you are vaccinated, yeah, it doesn't really matter unless you got vaccinated in Korea, or if you have Korean family members that are like vertical in your family tree. It can't be like a horizontal family member, it's got to be vertical. And yeah, girl, I'm in quarantine right now. We living it up. I get out on Tuesday at 7 a.m. So let's see, it's Saturday night right now, 11 p.m. So we're coming, it's coming, it's so close. I can't taste it yet, I don't think. It's like I can kind of smell it, but we're close. Yeah, I leave Tuesday morning, 7 a.m. 7 a.m. Santa's coming to check me out of this room. I cannot wait. I I have had a very, very, very good experience here at the Hyatt. I'm currently in the Hyatt in Incheon, so I'm like literally, we got on the bus. They had the little speaker guy talking, and they were like, you have a 10-minute bus ride to your Hyatt hotel, blah, 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 blah. And then literally it was like 1 minute later, it was like, "You have arrived at your destination." I was like, "I don't know who did the math there. That was that wasn't exactly that wasn't exactly 10 minutes." But it's literally I watched the airplanes take off all day, all morning, even sometimes all night. Even last night, we had a horrible storm, and I was watching the planes try to land, and I I had anxiety for them. Like, they're getting close to the ground, and they're kinda doing this, and I was like, this is like well, that's it's the little things that are very interesting in quarantine. Day-to-day basis, probably wouldn't watch the planes land, but last night, that was the height of the evening. So yeah, 14 whole days, 1 room, no fresh air in here with no window that is openable, which is um, in my quarantine vlogs that I'm in the process of editing, you guys will see, sneak peek. I basically have a panic attack the first day, and I was on the phone with the staff because I was trying to remain calm and I was trying to ask them, is there any way I could get a fan or like some kind of like air circulation in here? I don't think it affects people that there's no window that's openable for most people. Like people don't like it, but it's kind of like whatever. For me, I had stayed in the Marina Bay the first time and that had a window. So my expectation is there will be a window. I wake up at like 3 a.m. I'm really hot. I go to open the window and I literally just started like panicking. Like, I can't believe I'm not going to be able to like have any fresh air. And I don't want to talk about it all that much because it's still something that bothers me a lot. But I called them and the staff here were so kind and loving to me and like calmed me down and like tried to talk to me like just be like very kind and like one of the guys that checked me in, it's kind of like a strange story, but I told him I make YouTube videos. He signed in on YouTube or he signed in YouTube and just like, can I add you? You seem, I want to make YouTube videos one day too. And we like, we added each other. He added me on Instagram and he saw my story on Instagram. I'm very active on there, by the way, if you guys want to follow me. I, said, I can't believe there's no window. This is like, I'm not doing well right now. And he even like came up to my room, like had to put the whole gear on, came up to my room and said, I just wanted to check on you and see how you're doing. Which obviously I started to cry because I was like, that's so sweet of you to like come all the way up here. And I'm like trying to contain myself because I don't want him to worry about me. But he was so freaking kind. And I wrote him a letter. I want to give it to him. I just don't know if I even can with COVID. I don't know what the regulations are. But yeah, 7 a.m. I'm going straight to Edia. I am getting my condensed milk latte. I cannot freaking wait. But yeah, I am. Thank you so much for saying sorry and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm so glad the staff were so kind. I'm so much better now. I recorded a video today about like tips if you do plan to quarantine or honestly just like are living alone and having like a bad day. It's so important to kind of listen to your body, be smart, love your body well, but at the same time, like all I wanted to do that day was like sit and cry and like think about it. But when I woke up the next day, because I was really tired, I woke up the next day, I wanted to just like sit in my comfy clothes and just kind of like, just sit there and do one of these. And that was about it. But I forced myself to get up, open the blinds, get the sunlight in. And I put on my favorite songs, like my workout playlist that gets me hype. And I was just dancing. I threw like a little dance, like right here, this little hallway. We can probably walk like 15 steps, but I walked it back and forth. It's like a runway. I was strutting my stuff, listening to my jams, and I just like kind of didn't allow myself to like rest in that, like sadness. You should listen to your body, and I go to counseling, so I spoke to my counselor, but like I wanted to get myself out of the mindset of feeling like down, and I just wanted to get up, have fun, and that is what I did. So, and I've done that every day, by the way, since then. Day. Get up, dance, have fun, throw a little party. But I kind of am still in shock with how, yes, dance parties are the best. Always a mood lifter. Yes. Yes. I'm not even sure if I'm allowed to like play music, or I would probably be playing music right now because music always gets me hyped. But I'm still kind of in shock with how different this quarantine experience is from the first time, not just like how I've handled it, but like how the Hyatt is run in comparison to the Marina Bay, y'all, I don't see nobody. I don't see a soul. I put my face up to this window. I literally see my face marks from like resting my head and just people watching. At the Marina Bay, they came and they took your temperature midday every single day at like 3 p.m. And they would make all these announcements, which honestly, my soul left my body every single time. I would just be like chilling in bed, trying to relax, act all cool. And then all of a sudden they'd be like, start shooting me, dog. And I'm just like, what? Like, it sounds like someone's in your room. Soul left my body every time for 2 weeks, 4 times a day. I never got used to it. And here, they don't do announcements. They don't come take a midday temperature check. Literally, I don't see a soul. When I hear like the bags of like for lunch, like drop outside, I'm like, human? And like, I honestly, like, wanna run to the door one day, like, with my mask on. Obviously, I'm not gonna do this, but, like, I wanna run to the door and put my mask on just to, like, say hi to anybody. But thankfully, we live in a day and age where we can FaceTime people and still, like, remain really connected, so I hop on Instagram and vent to you guys. So, yeah. Anyways, you said, which facility did you get sent to? I'm on day one, and I thought it would be much easier until I was actually here. I feel so locked in. A freaking men. It is not something you can. I mean, I recommend watching like as many quarantine videos as you can. Probably more so in advance, but even while you're here, if you want to, the video I'm about to post about quarantine tips has a lot of helpful tips of like how to survive quarantine. But nothing, you can watch as many videos as you want, get as prepared as you want. Nothing will, it's kind of like college. You spend all this money to get a degree and you learn the most in the field when you like get out there and do it. You can watch as many videos as you want, be as prepared as you want, bring all the things, and then you get there and you're like, well, I'm in quarantine. Like I'm in this room, in this one room for 2 weeks. So I totally understand that feeling, but I do think that oh, and by the way, I am at the Hyatt right now. I was at the Marina Bay the first time I did quarantine. This is my second time, round two, and I leave Tuesday morning at 7 a.m. Cannot wait. But yeah, it is not easy, but I do think that you can make the most of it, as weird as that might sound. You can do so much when you have nothing, quote unquote, nothing to do. Maybe you have to work, so that's okay. But like you really have the opportunity to control certain things. Example, your health. You can get up and you can exercise. And if you don't feel like doing it, that's okay. Don't force yourself every day. But your girl never wants to do it. She just feels better after she does it. So she tries to get up even when she doesn't want to. And I try to get up and do it first thing because I'm lazy. And as soon as food gets in my body, all I want to do, like I'll walk, but like I don't want to like go all in because then I usually don't feel very well if I like go in after I eat. You know what I mean? You kind of feel nauseous. So I really recommend like getting up, exercising, even if you just are watching YouTube videos and you walk in your room, the more exercise that you can is a small space, but make it work. You can do this. And honestly, know yourself well. Hello, hello. Sorry, I get distracted. The little chat thing is so much fun. But know yourself well and know what is going to help you at a time like this and what is probably not the best thing that you could do for yourself. Again, I talk about this in the video that I like recorded today, so y'all are getting some sneak peeks. But for example, if you just got into like a new relationship and you really miss them, or you just broke up with someone and you're currently single and you were in this relationship for so long, maybe watching like that K-drama, like binge watching that like romantic drama is not going to be the best thing that you could do right now. Like if you love to cook and you wish that you could cook, but you can't really cook, like maybe watching all the YouTube videos about cooking, if that makes you feel good and that helps you feel good, go for it. But if it's going to make you miss it more, then I don't really recommend that you dive into that. And just know yourself well, know what boundaries you need to set for yourself. Squid Games, right? We can talk about that. Well, we can't really talk about it that much because I haven't watched it because I found out about it in quarantine. And your girl is a scaredy cat. When the sun is up, I am confident I can take on the world. I'll talk to anybody. I'll go anywhere, try anything. Sun goes down, and I'm in my room by myself and I'm living alone and I get scared. Like I'm locking that door back there. I'm putting that little metal latch thing up there. I'm putting that up there for my sanity. I don't know what it is about living alone that freaks me out so much. At night only. I love it during the day. I can sing and dance, wear whatever the heck I want to wear. But I get so nervous at night. So it's like Squid Games is probably not going to be a beneficial thing for me to watch right now because it's going to terrify me and then I'm not going to sleep. So, knowing yourself well, I think is one of the most impossible. I was reading the word positive and I was going to say impossible. Knowing yourself well is one of the best things that you can do for yourself. And yeah, try to just like remain positive, be excited, and take this time to study whatever language of whatever country you're in. Study that up because that's something that you can like control. You can control your language knowledge, which will benefit your future. You'll feel more confident when you go out there and you can order your own coffee in Korean. Anyways, we're getting behind on this chat. Megan, girl, I was positive and it's my 13th day of quarantine and I can totally understand you right now. Watching your videos give me inspiration. I love you too. Hi, I love you too. Thank you so much for saying that. Comments like that really give me that spice of life. And I definitely think that you should make videos like or well, I don't know what, and I don't know how I'm inspiring you, but whatever inspiration that is, lean into that. Inspiration is one of the best things. Honestly, that's why I'm here. I literally came back to Korea to pursue YouTube because it's a dream. And I came back here because I love Korea. I love living here. I want to find a way that I can stay here way longer in the future. But yeah, inspiration, like when you can inspire somebody else, I'm all about it. Did you do the vegetarian diet again? I wanted to do the vegetarian diet again. I wrote it down on the paper that I was going to do the vegetarian diet. And then for breakfast, day one, I got fish. And I was like, did I forget what vegetarian means? Maybe I forgot what vegetarian means. And I will say the description on the side said like fish, egg, and milk. And so I thought like maybe they cook with like a weird fish ingredient. Maybe translation is weird. And then I got the fish and I was like, I don't eat the fish. None of me eats the fish. I hate fish. The smell, the texture, the fact that I'm looking it in the eyes, not about it. So when I got the fish, I gave a little call down to the desk and I said, "So yeah, I don't eat fish." And they're like, "Oh, it's okay. It's okay. We won't give you fish anymore." Didn't get any more fish, but then I started getting chicken and mystery. Well, first I got a mystery meat patty, so I thought maybe this is fake meat. Maybe this is not real meat. What what is this? And then I got chicken and I was like, okay, so we just transferred me to like the normal meals. And I usually like day to day, I eat normal meals. So I wasn't like that upset about it. The reason I chose vegetarian the first time was just because I know at some hotels, the food is a little bit it's quite unhealthy. And with the vegetarian option, you're getting a lot of like fresh fruit and vegetables. Usually that, yeah, my body just feels like more alive when I'm eating better and I don't eat better most days. So here I can force myself, but I guess that didn't work out in my favor because we're getting all kinds of meat. So that's a funny story. What made you want to come back to Korea and go through quarantine again? I kind of said a little bit about why with like my dream to like pursue YouTube. Like I know it'll take a really long time for me to ever be like full time on YouTube, but I just love it as a side hustle. I love making videos. I really love helping people out. I am very much like a helper at heart and I love making videos. So it's kind of like I've traveled a lot. I really love to make videos, love to help people out. Let's put all that together. And now we're here. I obviously don't want to be in quarantine. My budget is way smaller for this trip because of quarantine, because it is basically like a little under $100 a day, which is like, we hate to say that out loud. We hate to speak that and hear it and have to process that. So we're going to move past that. Your girl's going to be broke, but like she's in Korea and she's going for her dreams. And for me, that's completely worth it. So that is what allowed me to convince myself to go through this wonderful thing called quarantine. Round 2. And I'll probably end up doing it round 3 because eventually I'm going to have to leave and eventually I'm going to want to come back. So But let's hope that the world is like a little less COVID-y by that time. After your condition became okay, were you more motivated to be productive, active with something compared to your quarantine at Marina Bay? Very, very, very strict with myself this time and being um, really busy every day and scheduling like a lot of stuff purposely every day for me to do, whether it be study Korean, film video, get a video edited. I downloaded Final Cut Pro while I was here. If you guys don't know what that is, it's like a real fancy. I downloaded it before, actually. Thank you to my friend who helped me do that. Um, I downloaded it. It's a whole different language. It is complicated. And I strategically in my head said, this is the perfect time for me to download this because it's going to give me a task that I have to do. I have to figure this thing out. I got to watch all the videos, figure out how to cut this, how to put this here and do this. So the last video I just posted with the quarantine update video was me attempting Final Cut for the first time. That was the result. Took a minute plus many, but it's worth it. It's really fun. But like I put it in my head as this is something I'm saving for quarantine because it's going to make me productive and give me something to do. Marlena, you can ask whatever you would like. If you have a few questions, go for it. Do you have plans? I thought you don't need a quarantine. I do need a quarantine. Everybody has to quarantine. No friends, no ifs, ands, or buts. Everybody has to quarantine unless they are exempt, and exemptions only come with like work visa, or if you are Korean and like this is your country, you were vaccinated in Korea, or it's like a family emergency. There's like a list of like exceptions. I cannot be exempt. Even if I'm vaccinated, my vaccine is American flavored, so it doesn't count in Korea yet. Hopefully in the future it does. Chicken, yeah, they gave us, I eat all the meats. Chicken, beef, pork, I think that's what they are. Kind of hard to tell sometimes. It's like shredded. It's like bulgogi style, so I'm kind of like, looks like beef. I think it tastes like beef. I eat it. I think this is beef. I'm not a chef, Marlena. I know you're a chef. I need your chef skills here. I'm there for round 3. Yes, Marlena, let's come back here together. Round 3 of quarantine. You and me, let's go. Will you study Korean language? I'm studying now. I have been studying. I've been studying for a while, actually. I lived in China, and that's when I met my first friends who were Korean. And I've been studying ever since. But let's talk about how my brain is not one to do the language thing. Pronunciation, spelling, not my forte. I'm fluent in sign language for that exact reason. In high school, I tried to take Spanish 101, could only remember la ventense and siéntense, which I think means stand up and sit down. That was all I got. And pronunciation, horrible, as you can probably just tell. Spelling, couldn't do it. So I took sign language, so you don't really need to spell as much. A lot of it is, it's English, but the grammatical structure is different. Anyways, that's why I took sign language for years. I study Korean. I really do try. I'm terrified to make sentences. My pronunciation is not that good, so I'm very scared, but I try my best. And when I go out here, I think it's very important to learn Korean. I use this app called Tuida because it offers a lot of conversational Korean that you use in like day-to-day life. Like when I'm going out to get a cup of coffee, when I'm taking a taxi, when I'm talking to a friend about relationships, it teaches me a lot of things that I use in day-to-day. Doesn't mean I can pronounce it all that much better because I have such horrible pronunciation. So we're trying really, really hard. I think it's respectful to learn the language of whatever country you're going to. And so I really want to be respectful when I'm out and about. But if you guys don't know, in Korea, there's this wonderful thing where like you speak 2 Korean words and then suddenly they think that you're fluent and then they speak fluently and very quickly. And it's like, like, it's like, whoa, okay, slow down. Like I am trying. I really want to study Korean. I really, really, really want to be able to be fluent one day. But like, let's meet halfway here. Don't talk too fast. I won't understand anything. But my auditory skills are actually like way million times better than my like sentence making abilities. I can understand a lot that my friends have said to me, but me trying to reply, whole different ball game. Challenging your brain with learning foreign language makes it healthier and makes your mindset willpower stronger. So let's go. Let's go. Let's learn. I really do think that's for sure. Like it's like exercising your brain. So I'm trying. I really am. You're learning Korea in Korea, so you'll get the pronunciation. See, I can't even pronounce pronunciation down quicker than if you weren't in Korea now. Very, very true. I also was really blessed, am very blessed that my parents moved to Atlanta, Georgia. If you guys don't know anything about Atlanta area, there's a place that is like northeast called Duluth, and Duluth, Georgia is like a Koreaville. And this is something that I didn't know when my parents moved to Atlanta. I'm not from Atlanta, actually. They moved August of 2019, and I was in China at the time. So I came back kind of like last minute, had to move in with my parents. And eventually I found out that this place called Duluth exists, and there's Korean restaurants and cafes. It's literally like a baby Korea. It's amazing. And so that's how I experienced Korean barbecue was the first time. Wonderful friend Marlena here took me, well, I met her at this Korean barbecue where the owner of the restaurant is the sweetest woman alive. I freaking love her so much. And she literally was like making these lettuce wraps. They're called sam. You put like the meat in the lettuce wrap and you add a bunch of goods, bean sprouts or kimchi, gochujang. You add all of this stuff and you just wrap the whole thing up, pop it in your mouth. I had never experienced this before. And I had this random Korean woman who opened this restaurant, and it's super authentic and it's super delicious. I had her shoving like lettuce wraps in my mouth. I'm just like sitting there like, 감사합니다. Like, what is going on? But delicious. Amazing. Like Korean barbecue is so freaking good. And so I really appreciate that I really, really love the fact that I live so close to a place that like scratches that Korean itch, like satisfies that like Korean, I don't know, like desire. Do you know what I'm trying to say? A lot of people don't have that wonderful opportunity to be able to drive less than an hour and eat an authentic Korean meal and hear people speak Korean and go to like a Korean cafe. So I'm very, 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 very thankful. When I do go back to America, I hope to make some videos to show you guys that too, because I think a lot of people don't know about it. And it's a really wonderful opportunity to like get a little bit of taste of Korea before you come here yourself. Cha is so great. I freaking love her. Yeah. You're not as I think. You can speak it well. It sounds good. You're too kind. But I know I have a long way to go. But I am trying. But you're right. In being in Korea, it is going to help me a lot. You hear it a lot more. Like it's kind of like it's why people say you should watch dramas, and I totally support that. It's just hearing it and you pick up on how it sounds. One of my closest friends, her pronunciation is so freaking good, and it's probably because she's watched like every single Korean drama. Like truly. And when I hear her speak Korean, I'm like, are you like half Korean? Because that sounded perfect. So the more dramas you watch, the more that you hear it, which by the way, I'm horrible at watching dramas. I'm really bad at watching shows. Anyway, so I'm not doing that. So that's probably why we're not getting better. Megan, take your own advice. Desire is definitely the word. Amen. Step by step, you can learn Korean language by yourself. Yes. And that's honestly like a lot of how I've taught myself, especially with that Tuida. I don't actually know how to say it. Tuida app. It's one where you like hear them speak it and then you speak it into the phone yourself. I wonder if I can like link you guys to it so that you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, here we go. Promo code MEGAN-O, but genuinely I reached out to them because I love them so much. But if you use the promo code MEGAN-O, you get like a percentage off. That's I talk more about this app in my video about apps that you should download before you come to Korea. But I use that a lot to self-study because I am listening to someone speak it and then you practice it. They have like little mock situations of like you go to the movies and they make you talk into the phone and like order the ticket. It's very, very helpful. So I really, 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 really love that. Have you tried watching Korean shows with English subtitles? So actually, when I watch Korean shows, which I'm very bad at watching shows, but when I do watch shows, I think it's Viki is it Viki, Viki, the app with all of like the K-dramas. I watch specifically on that rather than on Netflix. I actually don't like watching it on Netflix because on Viki, you can click learn mode and it will have the Korean subtitles and the English underneath. And you can pause at any point and hit the replay button and it allows you to like replay back that portion of the show and it'll show you in like the captions in Korean and like break down the vocabulary of like what each word means. That is amazing. Like that is how I've learned a lot of Korean is when I sit down and I watch shows, I take it as like a study session and I like to hear like people say it's not always like the authentic you would hear it on the streets, but at the same time, it's just nice to hear people like having a conversation and to like practice like in that way. So yeah, I have done that. If you watch with English subtitles, they say that you don't learn as much, which it's crazy to me to think like you can sit down and just watch like a whole show in only Korean subtitles and not really know what they're saying, but you pick up on more. I feel like that would be more beneficial when you're a little bit more advanced because then you can kind of understand and you practice that, like putting the puzzle pieces together in your brain of like, okay, I know these words, but I don't know the middle. And you kind of, you know what I mean? Like you can put it together in your head when you're a little more advanced. When you're a beginner, a little bit more difficult. So I'm like in between beginner and advanced. So I try to not use English subtitles and just figure it out from like what I see and what I hear. But I definitely cave and put the English subtitles on sometimes because I'm like, wait, I want to know what happened. I don't understand. And I like go back and I add the English subtitles. So um I was like, I was looking in the chat. It's like, what's that yellow thing? That's me. That is me typing. It's yellow when you type, Megan. Can you tell this is my first live? 전부 영어. Haha. Studying English. I'm probably speaking. I feel like people are like I don't know. I feel like a lot of people who are Korean watch American or like watch English videos to learn. And I try to do that with Korean. Does anybody know any people who live in Korea or have like speak Korean on YouTube and they have like subtitles that they enjoy watching? I want to watch YouTubers who are Korean that like have some sort of subtitle with them because I really like more like day-to-day videos, like learning that way English. When I hear people speak Korean, then watching like a K-drama, I just prefer like YouTube over watching K-dramas. Gotta head to work. Miss you too, Marlena. Can't wait till your breakout day. Girl, I cannot wait to break out. Tuesday at 7 a.m. I'm gonna get my coffee running. Well, maybe not with my bags. These are heavy, but we're gonna run right there, right there to get coffee. 7 a.m. Edie, here I come. I get too invested in wanting to watch the show faster, so I end up not using it to study. Yeah, you're like, what the heck is going on? I want to know what's happening in the show. I can't wait. I totally understand that. What are your guys' favorite dramas, by the way? Because I have like a list that people have like of dramas that people have recommended to me, and my favorite drama, y'all are gonna laugh. You've probably never seen it, but it's called I Am Not a Robot, and the actor in that, Yoo Sung-ho, is I don't know why he's one of my favorite actors, probably because that was the first Korean drama I ever watched, but he's so good at acting. So I went and watched like all of the dramas that he's in, except I think he was in like a newer one. I haven't watched that one. But I'm Not a Robot. It was the first K-drama I ever watched. And it is to this day my favorite one that I ever watched. I have a lot of other ones that I really, really, really love, but that one has a special place in my heart. I love it so much. I love the plot. Girl, I'm second gen Korean American. If that's without English subtitles, I don't get like 50% of the words. My mom is disappointed in me, like, bruh, totally fine. Honestly, totally fine. The fact that you understand 50% of the words is what you need to focus on. And tell your mom, like, at least I know something. There are some people out here who don't know anything, so can't snap. There you go. Uh, but yeah, it is really hard, especially Korean shows. Like sometimes the vocabulary, like if it's medical, like that's a whole different world. If it's like a law school, that's like a whole different world. It's like unless this Korean drama is going to be like day-to-day casual conversation, I'm probably going to not pick up on something. Um, I use English subtitles and I'm Korean. There you go. So Beauty does it sometimes for hers. So Beauty does it sometimes for hers. I talk a lot and then I miss out on the chat sometimes. So I'm assuming this is like is this a Korean drama? Is this a Korean drama? I don't know. Have you seen Squid Game? I talked about this a little bit at the beginning. I am terrified to be by myself at night. And I'm currently still in quarantine. I get out Tuesday. I've said this like 55 times. 7 a.m. Tuesday's my release date. The fact that I'm living here alone, there's a lot of anxiety and stuff that comes with quarantine, a lot of mixed emotions. Your girl doesn't need to like lean in to her fears. And I am terrified of scary movies, scary TV shows. Don't recommend me anything scary because I will quickly ask my friends, are any of these scary? And they'll tell me yes or no. And then I won't watch it because I get nightmares really easily. I have a very imaginative mind. I have really good imagination. What is the phrase I'm thinking of? Strong imagination. I have a strong imagination. So I'm way too terrified to watch something scary when I'm locked inside like I am. Yeah, it's just not, we're not gonna. So I do plan to watch it, but not right now. Hospital Playlist is pretty good. Okay. I haven't heard of that one. Strong Woman. I started that one and I loved it. I'm so bad at dramas. I get very distracted. And if I don't like sit down and binge like the whole thing, I don't tend to get back to it. And I tried to watch it in quarantine last time, but like without a VPN, you can't like watch that here in Korea. And so that's when I got a VPN, but then I didn't know about the VPN thing at first, and then I did, and I was like, I'm getting frustrated. So I stopped watching it. But I do want to finish that one because I loved that. I loved the actors in that. They were both so talented. I majored in theater, by the way. I've done a lot of acting my whole life, so I care a lot about good acting. And so if the person isn't good at acting, or if like I hate to rag on, or I hate to say anything bad about any dramas, but I watched something called like My Beauty is Gangnam, or My Identity is Gangnam Beauty, or something like that. And it was about a girl who like got made fun of because she looked like someone that had plastic surgery. The guy actor in that played his role perfectly. The girl actress was just not my forte of like an acting style, and I felt like the lead guy the character just wasn't the kind of character I like to watch. So I struggled to watch that one because again, I want the acting and the styles of acting to be something that I really resonate with. So yeah, didn't like that one. So if the acting's not good, I'm kind of like, I don't enjoy watching it. And does YouTube videos sometimes in Korean subtitles? Yeah, so YouTube videos with Korean subtitles and stuff like that. Wonderful way to learn. I love doing that myself. Again, I want to find more videos that are people who are Korean speaking Korean that I can watch on YouTube. YouTube is like my Netflix. I don't watch a lot of TV shows. I watch YouTubers, and I watch like literally their whole life. Like there's a girl named Sunday Love. I love her videos so much. She lives in Japan. She's probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite YouTuber. I watch all of her videos. So I treat YouTube like my TV shows that I like check in on people. So I really, really, really love watching YouTube. So if you know of any YouTubers that are Korean, who speak Korean, and there's subtitles on there, whether it be Like, I would love that there's some English subtitles. So that would help me know, like, if I don't understand, I can go back and learn. So if you have any recommendations of YouTubers, please throw it in there. Are you there as a tourist? So, yes, I'm also here to figure out a visa for staying here longer. My understanding from the research and the connections that I have made, I would really like to have an entertainment visa, but it's better to get entertainment visas when you are in the country, not outside of the country. A lot of times when you are like in America or you're in a different country, there's a lot of sadly like scams and stuff on the internet, and people try to like make you like pay for things, or like it's just not, they know that you're not here, so you can't really like check in if it's authentic or not. So a lot of people say in the entertainment industry especially, you should be in Korea to do that. So I'm here to really flex my YouTuber skills and like get a lot of videos out there, get a lot of content out there for you guys, but also like that is my form of like very small income, and grow that side hustle. And then also be able to meet up with people, build connections, make relationships that could potentially lead to like an entertainment visa in the future. Uh, there's a lot of different ways that you can do that, but I just would rather I want to make sure that it's not a sketchy thing. And there's a lot of, yeah, horror stories with like the entertainment industry and stuff. So I just want to be really, really, really careful. So I came back for YouTube and that. Imaginative mind. Yeah, I don't know what I was saying. It's similar to Hunger Games. Oh, okay. You're probably talking about Squid Games. I've heard that it's similar to Hunger Games. I love the Hunger Games. I just don't like the goriness. So if it was like PG, I'd watch it, but it's PG 13 plus probably. So we'll watch it when we get out of quarantine. Is it difficult to learn Korean language? Yes. The reading of the signs, like Hangul itself, super easy to learn the alphabet, super easy to learn and like be able to read that quickly. I don't know what I'm saying, but I can at least read the sign out loud. And so any of like the English type words like kopi, like I'm like, oh, coffee. Oh, cool. And I get really excited about that kind of thing. So I know how to read Hangul, but the act of like the grammatical structure, Korean grammatical structure is like next level. Really, 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 really difficult, but we're trying. I agree with acting. I couldn't watch the entirety of the first episode because of the actress. Yes. When the acting is bad, it's just like my interest is like, meow. Like, I'm just like, this is so fake. You could do better. And then I don't know if anybody else is like this. Again, my imaginative mind. What did I say? Yeah, imaginative mind. My strong imagination skills. I like act out the scene myself. I'm like, I can do it better. And I like I like look at like what the lines are and I like pretend I'm doing it in my my room. Oh, so embarrassing. Me admitting to my craziness. Okay. One of my favorite YouTubers in Korea is Megan Moon. Yes, Megan Bowen. Megan Moon, aka Chonin Miguk Saram입니다. I don't remember what she says at this moment, but is that what she says? Miguk Saram? Yeah, 입니다. She's so funny. I love her videos so much. I would love to aspire to be like her as well. I just love how funny she is, and her and Mr. Moon are so fun. Yes, that's like one of the people here that I know and love, and I love when she makes those videos where she speaks only in Korean because I feel like I learn a lot from those. Means you can get entered to Korea on KT. So the KETA, you can fill that out. You have to fill that out as of September 1st and pay for that form if you plan to come to Korea on a tourist visa. It's like your acceptance into Korea now. They just want to like regulate more who's coming. And like before, you could just show up, walk up and be like, hey, how you doing? I'm here for a 90-day tourist visa. And they're just kind of like, what? As long as you are one of the countries that meets the requirements that are allowed to do that. But yeah, so I had to fill out a KETA, that's fun to say, to get here. And it's like basically your acceptance or approval to come back and forth on as many tourist visas as you would like. In the days pre-Rona, I literally would have just like flown to Japan and come back, and I could get like the new tourist visa. But when you do that, you have to quarantine all over again. And Japan is not even open. So sadly, yeah, one more reason why the illness, the plague really, really sucks is it makes traveling a lot harder. And there's so many rules and regulations right now. Like you can only be out after 6 p.m. with like 2 people or something if you are not vaccinated, and 4 people if you are vaccinated. But again, your vaccination has to be in Korea, or you have to be Korean or have a family member that is Korean. It's very complicated. But I actually think, let me take that back. If you got vaccinated elsewhere, it does not count in America as of right now. You can get an exemption paper for quarantine if you have a family member here in Korea, or you are Korean and have family in Korea. But you can't, the vaccine still doesn't count. If you got vaccinated in America and you are full Korean and you come to Korea right now, your vaccination does not count, which is really, really, yeah. I could say a lot about that, but it's really depressing. But I think they're just trying to regulate. Yeah, it's just one of those, like, Korea really loves to be like Korea true. And yeah, they just want your vaccines right now to be from Korea. So, if I have KTA, I can visit for tour, right? Yes, you can visit as a tourist if you get your KTA. Print it out, bring it with you to the airport. I don't need any other document like invitation because I thought they are not allowing tourists. Only the essentials can go. It is a country by country case. So some people, like the countries that they currently live, they're not allowed to travel here on a tourist visa. Some countries are allowed. I'm American, so the US is one of the places that's currently allowed to do that. But if you fill out the KETA, it's like your acceptance. So I don't think it would allow you to be approved for KETA if you're coming from a country that doesn't allow it. But either way, you should always go to the Korean embassy website and look to see what it says, as like it'll list off the countries that are allowed to come right now. And so you can quickly know there if you're allowed to come or not. But they are not open to tourism. Like, they're not open for tourists to come from every country. There's a big list, but there is a list nonetheless. Do you read or watch the Korean news so that you know what's going on, like the updated social distancing rules? Yes, I have gotten a little bit lazy here in quarantine. I've been so focused on YouTube, but I do stay up to date. A lot of it is just like word of mouth. You just find out from friends. Hi, Hi, Tyler. A lot of it you find out from friends, kind of like what's going on, or I've heard about it from friends before I even got here. And I was talking to like my friend yesterday about some of the regulations and stuff. But sometimes the regulations change, and I didn't know that the regulation changed because I don't like, the news might be on, but unless there's English subtitles, like they talk too fast. The imida, simida endings are like very confusing for my brain to like wrap my mind around what they're saying. So like sometimes I don't know what the regulation is. And I like go out to a cafe. I was living in Busan. I remember living in Busan. I was at a cafe, and it was supposed to close at 10 p.m. And I was just like on my computer, like like in the zone. And then I looked down at my phone and it was 10:30, but like there were other people around me. And I was like, what the heck? And I like called my friend and they're like, oh yeah, the curfew got moved back. I was like, what? I didn't know. But a lot of the rules have stayed the same for a while. There's still like a 4-person limit on people, like how many people that you can be like together with. Like you can only go out to eat and like sit with like 4 people. And so I don't know, I just found out about that from like my friends and stuff like that when I first moved here. That's how I just found out from my friends. I asked them, they're like, yeah, this curfew's at this time. And honestly, it's kind of like I know about QR codes. I know to check in at every place because you have to like use this QR code to sign in or write your own name down everywhere you go so that the government can keep track of who's where. So if someone does get like tested positive for COVID, they'll inform everybody that was at that certain place as well. Hey, there was a COVID positive person at that location from this time to this time. Please go get tested and be careful. Like track your think like, are you getting sick? Like watch yourself and stuff like that. Oh, okay, there's an English news. I don't know how to pronounce Ari Rang news. I've never heard of this. I'm writing this down. Ari Rang news. English. We love to hear it. In English? Wonderful. Saw you flew through Germany. I'm in Japan now and will be flying through Germany on the way back to the US. Anything else to know? Not included in the previous video. Germany, 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 Germany. They're very strict. They're very strict in Germany. This was a few months ago, so I think things could be different, but they were very strict. Even like I was sitting, eating and drinking, and they would like come over and yell at you if your mask was down for like any amount of time. So yeah, very strict. Are you flying with Lufthansa? That's like the German one. Those flights are like known to be like one of the best flights, like one of the best flight companies. I've not had a lot of good luck. I've had a horrible time with their customer service. Please check your flight plan because my flight home originally, the first time I was here, got changed so that I was flying from Seoul to Germany, but then my ticket said your flight got changed, and it said I will fly from Seoul to Germany and then Canada to Chicago and Chicago home. And I was like, interesting. How do I levitate from Germany to Canada? Like, I'm confused. Like, it's confusion. How do I get from that? So check your flight and make sure that it's a full flight. And if you do need to talk to anybody in customer service, talk to them when it is not German hours, because I waited for hours to talk to someone, 6+ hours, nothing. I contacted them when it was like a non-German open time, and literally they got back to me within 20 minutes. So check your flight, make sure that it's got all of you go from place to place to place, and the flight should be really nice. Like usually those flights are pretty nice. And make sure that your test is taken. If you need to get to do it, make sure it's taken 72 hours from your departure time in Germany. So 72 hours from your departure in Japan, also 72 hours from your departure in Germany. And I had a 10-hour layover, so that really messed things up. And yeah, I got really lucky to get on my flight. So yeah, 24 hours, 24 hours, 24 hours, 24 hours. Yes, yes, Imida. Yeah, my brain, what is going on here? Yes, the like really formal way of speaking here in Korea is beautiful. It sounds beautiful. So difficult for my brain to wrap around what the heck is going on. But I mean, I think it's really sweet that there's like this respectful language. I think it's a beautiful addition to a language. It's just so hard for someone like me to pick up on. Like there's like casual, formal, and then more formal. I'm just like, whoo, I can't even do one of them. Saw the CDC said your PCR test can be 72 hours from your first flight. So my flight information also said this, but then when I showed up in Germany, they were like, no, it needs to be 72 hours from this departure. So especially because it's Germany, and especially because they were so strict with me, the line of people waiting to like figure out their flight because they all weren't allowed on in Germany was insane. So I would just be extra precautious because my flight said that too, and so many people got in trouble. Ari Rang. Oh yeah, okay. Thank you so much. I was planning to visit Korea for New Year, but I got stuck on information. But thanks to you now, I can plan my trip for quarantine. Oh, I'm so glad I could help you. I hope that my more videos in the future also are just as informative. So thank you so much, and thanks for watching this first live ever. Haha, yes, I know what I like. I love laughing in Korean. I'm great at that. Texting all the time. I can see Korean, so you can get information if you don't mind. Yeah. Yay, Lufthansa. Yeah, good old Lufthansa. Hi, Grace. How are you? Much love. 사랑해. Thanks for the info. Take care. Yeah, happy to help. Happy to help. Do you need a PCR test? Always, forever, and always. You need a PCR test to do anything. If you're getting in an airplane, if you are getting on an airplane, you need a test of some kind. Sometimes Antigen test. But no matter what, if you're vaccinated, unvaccinated, everybody needs to get a test taken because you can still catch the virus if you are vaccinated. So they just want to be as safe as possible. And everybody always has to get PCR tests. If you're like in America right now and you are vaccinated, you can present your vaccination card to get on a flight. But in Korea, they expect you to have a test when you're arriving. So you're going to need a PCR test either way. I had the same with my second flight. They wanted the 72 hours to be from the flight that was entering Seoul, not my first one. Yes. See, this is like why I started making this YouTube channel, was because I heard so much wrong information and I almost had to buy like a completely new flight in Germany, stay overnight in Germany. It was like a hectic, scary experience, honestly. So that's like part of the reason why I started making videos is I want people to hear the right information, and I want to try my absolute hardest to help anybody that I can, answer any questions. Chrissy, where did this happen? Were you also in Germany, but where they expected the 72 hours from the flight entering Seoul? Where were you? If you don't mind me asking, like, where was that flight? Yeah, got vaccinated, but still PCR tests for days. It's better to be safe than sorry, honestly. And it's not that hard. Like, it's not hard to get a PCR. It's annoying to get a PCR test taken. It's not comfortable. It's not comfortable. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like, I understand why. Just better to be safe than sorry. Wow, it's already been an hour and 1 minute and 19 seconds and 20 seconds. That's actually gone really fast. I was thinking like, am I going to make it to 30 minutes? Like, I love to talk, but I've never done this before. So I'm going to take a water break though, because I started to lose my voice there for a second. I'm very curious to know how you found me, if you don't mind typing in the chat. How did you find my channel? What video was it that you found? And why, if you are subscribed, why did you subscribe? Did you subscribe for Korea content? Did you subscribe for just like travel information? I'm curious to know how y'all found me. And yeah, I want to know. I want to know y'all. I want to know what videos I can make for you as well to help you more as I'm here in Korea and traveling away. So, so it was Detroit to Korea. So that's even an American flight. Okay, so it is safe to say, make sure your test is 72 hours before your departure to Korea. That is a safe thing to say. Information about South Korea was the reason. Okay, cool. Found it from the PCR test video. Thank goodness. LOL. I think you had posted it on a Facebook and expat group. Yeah. So there is a Facebook group that I'm a part of called, well, I'm into, there's every expat in Korea, and there is another one, Quarantine in South Korea, I think is what it's called. I think the Quarantine in South Korea, I posted some of my videos in there just to help people out. Again, I started this to help people out. So just posted random videos like, hey, in case you guys wanted to know PCR test information, everything I was told is wrong. Here's a video. Or like, I'm in quarantine now, if you guys want to watch. But I actually found out that groups like that to grow on YouTube mess with the YouTube algorithm a lot in a bad way. So I kind of stopped posting in groups like that. And I hope that people just find me via search. And that's actually been working out really well. The chat, let me catch up. I was looking at PCR test information. I'm leaving the country next week. Safe travels, my Smith. I hope that you have safe travels. I hope it's not too bad. Safe flights. I'm really glad that you found that video. I hope that it answered some of the questions that maybe you didn't even know you had. You told me to subscribe on Instagram, and then I stayed for the content. Yes, I love it. I was looking for quarantine information. Oh, okay, in Korea, that and your charming attitude is like, stop it. Stop. I'm just kidding. I am a nut, but I'm glad that I can slightly entertain. Quarantine on South Korea group. Yep. Yes. I love that group. It answered like so many great people. And if you are in Korea and you haven't joined the Every Expat in Korea Facebook group, some of the most vicious people in there, but the most information I have ever learned. Every question that you could possibly ask someone is in that group already answered, or if you ask, you get like really good answers. That's where I asked about the entertainment visa. And I had a guy on there who is like a lawyer here in South Korea that just said, hey, for free, I want to call you and tell you like what to be careful of, because the entertainment industry here is great and also scary. So like he called me, we talked on the phone for like an hour and a half just because he was a nice guy. That group is amazing. Every expat in Korea. I didn't know you can go to Walgreens and CVS. Went and tested negative. So thankful. Yeah. So Walgreens and CVS, free tests. We're here for it. Thank you, government, for paying. Video process of quarantine. I like your demeanor. Thank you. I usually travel to Korea every year, but skipped last year. I know, right? This dang Rona. Really playing with everything. But I'm really glad that you found my videos, and I'm glad that you like my demeanor. So kind of you to say. Thank you so much. How much dollar for quarantine do you need? All the dollars. You need many, many dollars. It is in USD $1,463 ish. That's how much I paid this time. I don't remember exactly how much I paid last time, but it's roughly the same amount. So the average is 1,500 USD. But they say it can be as expensive as $2,100. I have never heard of someone paying over $2,000. I think the most I've heard someone pay is $1,600. But it's like about $100 a day. I don't like to think about it. I really don't like. That's why you need to be picky and call and make sure, like, if you need water, you get that water. If you don't like this meal, you can attempt to try to tell them you don't like the meal. Sometimes they fix it, sometimes they don't. The Hyatt is really good at adjusting to your wants, needs, and desires. But yeah, that's why you need to call and get your money's worth. Y'all, I'm asking for water every day. I'm going to take those puppies in my suit. You can't see it. My suitcase is right here. That's what I'm touching. I'm going to take those puppies with me. Save that, 3,000 won that it costs to just go buy one and kill my back with the weight, but it's fine. Which one is better, self or government quarantine? So you don't have a say in whether or not, if you are doing a short-term visa, you have to quarantine in a government facility. You cannot pick Airbnb, all that jazz. So I haven't had the choice, and I've had to come to government facility both times. In America, I've quarantined by myself, but it was like at home. And it's just like a completely different experience because you're in America. Like my parents were there. They could help me out. So yeah, it's kind of like, I'm not sure I'm the best person to say, like, let me do a comparison about it. But I do think it is a lot easier to, even though it's so expensive, it's very easy to quarantine here because they just bring the stuff to you, and the like tests and stuff, I take my COVID tests here. Whereas if you self quarantine, you really need a SIM card in advance because you're going to want to order food and you need a phone number to do that. You're going to have to order a lot of things to your room. You have to go out and like go get the PCR tests done and be surrounded by like a whole bunch of people who are also getting the PCR tests done, which is kind of like a little bit risky in my opinion. So I personally think that the government facility, though it's expensive, it does make your life really easy. Like they're literally just bringing my food and dropping it outside. Like can't really get any easier than that. And as long as you buy the pot that I have mentioned in like a billion videos, the pot that is like the electric pot that plugs into the wall, amazing. You can like basically cook your own meals, mix stuff together, warm stuff up, eat when you want, not ice cold. 10 out of 10 recommend. 10 out of 10 recommend that pot purchase. Oh, bye, Marty. Thanks for watching. Thank you so much. Mike Smith, thank you. Because of you, I'm going to get tested 72 hours and 48 hours. Yes, 72 hours and 48 hours before your trip. Multiple tests is always the best because sometimes tests don't come back in on time. Like you still get it taken 72 hours before, and like you don't get your results back sometimes. So very, very good to get more than one test taken. Do I still have to have the results printed and signed? I noticed Walgreens only emails the results. Both Walgreens and CVS email. I printed them out, and then I literally went to CVS and was like, Can you sign? But the signature is like if someone's really picky, and in Germany, especially, they were very picky. I strategically and specifically for you guys showed my test result that was not signed everywhere I went. And then I kept another copy of the signed one. So if they did say something, I would show them the signed one. They never asked. So I think the signed thing is just if someone is being, I don't know, having a bad day, being very, very picky about rules and regulations. I just think it's more important that it looks official. So make sure it looks very, very official. And if you want to just like make sure you're completely safe, you can just go and like the pharmacist just signed it. So it's a signature, some signature better than no signature. If you read it, if you read it, I don't know what that means. Korea is also a gold mine for information. You can also ask tons of questions. Yeah. For sure. So much information on the interwebs. I've made so many friends. I'm so thankful I have so many friends here, so I can ask all my friends all the questions, both foreigners and natives. So I'm very thankful. But yeah, so much information everywhere. I just try to get out information in like a fun and easy to watch way. I try to be like the older sister or younger sister, I guess, for you guys and just answer any questions in advance, maybe that you didn't even know, just so that you can come here more confidently and not have to worry about the like, oh, I don't know how this works. I don't know how this works. And that's why I always leave my Instagram like inbox open for any more questions that you guys might have. My Instagram is also Megan Osten if y'all haven't found me on there yet. Do you have plan about travel? I will live in Seoul for a month and Busan for a month and then kind of play it by ear. I personally actually like living in Busan more. The weather is less extreme. In Seoul, it's very extreme. And in Busan, I love the water a lot. There's something just like mystical and magical about looking over the water, especially at night. I love Sumyong is my favorite city in all of Korea, and that is in Busan. I love that city. I don't know why I love it so much. Probably because it has my favorite ramen place, but I just love the vibe there. It's busy without it feeling like overwhelmingly busy. And I feel like the people are more relaxed and just like slower, like day to day. I met the nicest people in Busan. Nothing against Seoul. Love Seoul. I've met amazing people in Seoul. But in Busan, my ticket, I bought like a one-way ticket really quickly because I forgot my T-Money card at home. And I didn't understand at the time that you had to buy, like you had to click your destination. And I just clicked like one ticket or something like that. But like I transferred, so I needed a second, or I needed my ticket to cover two trips or something. It's very complicated to explain. But when I tried to leave the subway, it was like, like it wouldn't let me leave. So these nice native Korean people like they were like looking at me because I was like, I don't know what to do. And they like beeped and like held the door open for me to like walk through. So freaking kind. So I just have loved like the people that I've met in Busan. I volunteered at an English cafe in Busan. And I kind of hope that I can go back there and just volunteer my time again because it's a great way to meet people. So I hope that I can make it back there again in Busan. So those are some of my travel plans. I'm going to make a whole bunch of videos, record a whole lot of content, especially like how to live alone in South Korea is going to be like a theme because a lot of people are kind of like intimidated to travel alone, so they don't. And I really, really, really recommend that people do. You learn a lot about yourself. You grow a lot as a person. I think traveling solo is hard. Don't get me wrong, but amazing, an amazing experience. I have the same pot, different color. Yes. Do you need olive oil to reheat the food? Is the pan nonstick? Pan is nonstick. You don't really need the oil. I brought the oil because I thought like maybe I could end up frying something. And so that's how I got things like a little bit crispier. But at the end of the day, I only use the olive oil like twice. So the food is pretty like juicy. It's nonstick. I never had any sticking problems. So yeah, you don't really need to bring the olive oil actually. Thank you. I have layovers in Germany. I appreciate your help. Yes, please get that COVID test 72 hours before your departure in Germany. I'm really glad you found my videos. Sorry if you have mentioned this many times. I don't mind, you're good. But what were the prices for a quarantine hotel for both times? Both average $1,500. So 1,500 USD. It was like $1,463 this time. I couldn't remember the first time you said, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, Megan, I'm in Korea and quarantined in the same hotel as you. Hey, can you hear me? You want me to shout? um, so in the three parts blog, I'm in the quarantine in the same hotel as you in the three parts blog. Oh, Marina Bay. You're in the Marina Bay. So you're not here. That's okay. Honestly, you have a window and I'm jealous for that. Oh, you can hear me. Maybe you're so are you at the Hyatt or are you at the Marina Bay? I know you're probably not. You're probably just joking. But are you at the Hyatt or the Marina Bay? Marina Bay is the one from my vlogs, and currently I'm here at the Hyatt. The Marina Bay is the one that has the window that can open, even if it's only a few inches. The Hyatt is the one that has just glass and no window capabilities. Well, window, no openable window capabilities. Marina Bay. Okay. What food did you get? Do you like the food at the Marina Bay? Because I have heard mixed reviews. I loved the vegetarian option. Fresh fruit every day. I'm all about it. But here I got the not intentionally, but I got the normal option here. And I think I would have died if I got the vegetarian option here because it would have been like just tofu for days. And I don't love tofu very much. Sometimes I do. Yes, it is my first solo trip, and I'm anxious and a little nervous, but I'm excited. Yes, all of the emotions, completely understandable. I totally understand all of them. Um, it's intimidating to think like it's all on me. Like every decision, I'm making it. In order for me to make friends, I got to make them myself. Like you don't have that like, safety blanket of a person going with you. But at the same time, it's really sad, but like I've not had the best experiences traveling with friends. I thrived with that person in America. We were really close in America, and then when we headed off to overseas, we just had different traveling styles, and I think that's something that's not another video I kinda hope to make sometime. You can have just a different traveling style than someone, and it's not wrong, but it can really clash a friendship. Kinda like they say, "Don't live with your best friend." You start to, like, clash in, like, how you live, and for example, like, I am a very independent person. I need my alone time. I'm an only child. I never like grew up like sharing a space. Like my bedroom was always just me. I never grew up like living in the same room and sleeping in the same room as someone. And when I went to college and I had to share a room, it was really hard for me. Whereas like my roommate was like, I've done this my whole life because I had a sister and I lived with her. So for me, traveling, there's like other categories like that that you don't think about. So if you travel with a friend, I'm a very independent person. I want to be alone. I want to have my own space. I want to be able to shut a door and have that space be mine. And if it's messy, it's because I wanted to be messy and like just have control over my little area. And if I want to FaceTime someone, I can. I have like the room to go to. I was sharing rooms with people and just never had privacy, never had my own space, never could just do whatever the heck I wanted to do. Um, so it was very hard for me and like the cleanliness was really bad. And so I ended up having to like find a different place of my own and move out of the shared house because I just couldn't take it. And the friend that I was with, I felt really bad, but it was like she was very intimidated to be in another country, whereas I was just excited. And so I didn't love her well in like being able to be there for her because I needed my own time. So it's just very, very important to be careful when you travel with someone. And there are perks to traveling alone that I think people don't realize. They get so nervous to travel alone that they don't think like, I would ever want to do this. Go for it. It won't be easy. Bumble BFF, I've made so many friends on there. I have volunteered at an English cafe, made a ton of friends there. There are other people traveling alone and they want to find you. You can find people on Instagram. You found me. You know what I mean? Like I'm traveling here alone. I love friends. You know what I mean? So there's always ways to meet people. So you're not really alone. At the end of the day, there are other people there, and but it is hard. I totally get why it's like anxiety driven thing. So it's not gonna be easy, but it is gonna be so incredibly worth it. I'm so glad that you're going. Be very excited, you should be. Food is tasty, however, the portions are not enough for me because I get quite hungry quickly. Yeah, downside is that the food is cold all the time. Marina Bay, ice cold. Ice cold food every day. The pot that I brought, if I'm able to drop off packages, I don't think I'm allowed to. I was gonna say I would bring you my pot and gift you my pot, but when do you get out of quarantine? Because I don't even think I'm allowed to do that. That's my wishful thinking, but I would gift my pot to someone if I could. I always find it easier to just but the food at Marina Bay, so cold. If I didn't have my pot, I would have died. I don't eat cold food very often. I don't like, oh, no, 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 no. You can always get really creative with your kettle, by the way. Put hot water in the kettle. You can kind of like pour it. You can like soak the food. It sounds really weird, but you can like soak the container in hot water and it kind of warms up the food. I know it's weird. I made ramen in my pot once. I wouldn't recommend it though, because then you have to clean out the pot really well. And yeah, it was kind of weird to drink ramen flavored water, but you can get creative. I always find it easier to just meet up with people, even if we are traveling to the same place. I need the recharge solo time, and I don't. So I don't turn in to Dragon Woman. I love that. I relate. I feel you in so many ways. Me too, 100%. I need that recharge time. Like I really, 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 really do. I don't turn into Dragon Woman. Can you give me an example of to like what Dragon Woman means? I'm interested. I'm having dinner while watching the live stream. Haha. I took a nap between 5 to 10. Isn't that great? You take these wonderful naps and you woke up and you're like, where am I? What time is it? I don't even know where I am. Freedom and privacy are very important. Yeah. My Insta is at Megan Osten, just like my name. I had to do that. Why did it turn red? I'm sorry. Hi. Ooh, your name is so pretty. Maureen. I'm gonna try. Marine? Marino. I'm not good at pronunciation. If you want to try to do like the how I spell something in the chat, that would be great. I want to know how to pronounce your name. It looks really cool. If you have time about future, can you? Yeah, I hope to meet a lot of people. I would love to do like a little group meetup just for my own like sanity. It's a little scary sometimes to meet people one on one. But yeah, I would love to like say like, hey, I'm going to this cafe if people want to come. My stomach gets sensitive to cold food too. Oh my gosh, cold food. I don't even like thinking about it. I tried to find a container to fill hot water and put the food in the top, but there are no containers at all. I can't remember what Marina Bay food looks like, but even if it's just like a tray, it's probably like plastic or something, isn't it? I'm desperate time called for desperate measures. I would still somehow put hot water on something, or sometimes like if you make ramen, I don't know if you have ramen or if they're giving you ramen, but if you make ramen, you can put food in the ramen. Like you can add panchan and like vegetables inside the ramen and make it more like fun and flavorful. So that's another way to like have warm food. I tried to find a oh, you already read that? Random thought, could you use a hair dryer to heat up your food? Interesting. Guess what I'm gonna try tomorrow? Maybe why not? Sounds kind of fun. It's probably would smell a little strange, but now I'm very interested. Hair dryer, I love it. Creative thinking. Dragon woman, breeze fire with snappy comebacks, and the resting witch face. That would probably scare little children. Chrissy, I'm dead. Did you bring a converter? Yes, I did. Right over there on the floor. Hey, how you doing? But the pot does not work with that converter. So I have 110 voltage plugs. So I make sure to use the 110 voltage plugs. When I was in Marina Bay, I just turned it on low and turned it off of low, and I would just do it for like short periods of time. But often I would like boil the water and then put it in the pot and then like make ramen that way. But yeah, you got to be really careful with voltage because don't want to short any, don't want to short the whole building out. Just kidding. You wouldn't do that. But your plugs might stop allowing electricity. But by the way, if you're at the Marina Bay, there are, like, switches in the closet, I believe, that, like, turn it back on. My friend short-circuited her room, so if you do that too, the breaker switches are in the closet, I believe. But I did bring a converter. I use that for like electronics. But I started linking a strong converter in the videos that I make that the description says it would work with the electric pot because it's used for hair dryers and curling irons, and the voltage meets like the requirements. So I started linking that if you guys need a converter and you're coming. Um, just be careful and watch your converters because usually they get hot or there's like a little button that will turn from green to red. And if it turns red, turn it off immediately. So just be really, really careful. I wouldn't put the pot on high with a converter. I would only ever put it on low. But again, be very careful and make sure that the requirements say it would allow like an electronic object to be plugged into it. Is that making sense? What must I pack going to Korea? Definitely would recommend you if you're thinking like more quarantine related. I have a quarantine tip video out right now that talks all about quarantine like necessities, and I just filmed today an updated version of that. So I'll have that up soon. But for packing in general, I actually have a packing like a complete packing guide video. I have two videos. There's one that is what to pack, and there is a video that is about how to pack, which are extremely different, by the way. Like what you need to bring, you're like, of course they are. What you need to bring, let me see. This is the what to pack video is right here. This is what I recommend anybody pack, especially for overseas travel. Um, kind of lists off some like you want to bring water bottles that are refillable like this because when you get into the airport you can fill this up and then you don't have to spend like $8 on a new water bottle. Ain't nobody got money for that. I'm not going to spend $8 for a bottle that like looks like this. I have this like travel scale to like weigh my suitcase that I really really like that I mentioned in that video. These compression bags that like make your clothing like all of it is like linked in that video and I explain it all in that video, but it like shrinks your clothing so you can just pack a whole ton of clothes and bring like so much. Love it. Um, let's see. Interesting. Hair dryer. If you do use a hair dryer, I'm very interested to know how that goes. But yeah, that video should help you with like some things to pack. If you have like specific I can think about it a little bit more, but all of my goods, I just put them in videos. Like all of the knowledge I have, I just put it in a video. So the video is probably more helpful than me trying to list it off right now because I don't have a good memory. I'm kind of forgetting what I said in the video, but the video is good. Isn't there a hotel provided hair dryer? Yeah. Or can you also usually request for a converter? I had a friend request for a adapter, which is just like how you can like plug it into the port itself. It doesn't convert the energy. I'm not sure about a converter because those things are expensive and people often short circuit them. Not sure if you could request, but heck, just call, try, figure it out. I just think it's better to bring your own because you know if it's like a good one or not, and you can buy like the strong ones and not like have to buy like a crappy one. I thought you brought a hair dryer from your country. The hotels usually come with a hair dryer, actually. And I always recommend buying hair dryers in country because those are the things that cause the most electricity problems. Like you don't want to go to an Airbnb and then like short circuit everything because fry your hair dryer, mess up the plug and all that stuff. So I just recommend buying a hair dryer in country, but you're very welcome, by the way. Happy to answer any questions that you have. Feel free to ask anything. But yeah, hair dryers, buying them in country are usually better than bringing one. Even though I feel like Korean hair dryers don't work very well. I don't actually use a hair dryer on my hair. It's so thin, it just air dries. I don't do anything. Like this is just my natural hair. She just does this. And she doesn't hold a curl to save her life. So yeah, the Korean hair dryers don't work very well here. But I don't want to mess up the plugs and all that jazz. Speaking of those bags, you had wondered which works better, the vacuum bags or the roll out the air bags. Tried both. Roll out air bags work much better. Interesting. So my experience are the vacuum bags work better. So it could just be the brand because some rollout airbags work really, really well. Some rollout airbags that I've used don't work all that well. Um, but that's very interesting. Do you know what brand, Chrissy, of like bags that they were? I'm curious. Vacuum seal can slowly let out air. Oh, and the rollout bags didn't. Okay. So maybe like the seal on the vacuum bags weren't that good. Um, that's very interesting. Yeah, I think it depends on the company and like how good the bags are. I'm probably going to end this in like 5-ish minutes. If you guys have any other questions or anything that you want to ask. Um, my throat, I would keep going, but my throat is starting to feel a little not well. I'm like, what is the word I'm trying to think of? Like scratchy? I'm not used to talking. You know what I mean? Like I'm in this room all by myself. By myself. I can sing sometimes. Um, the ever fancy Target. Can't say I know that brand off the top of my head, but I just buy literally I buy everything off Amazon. Literally have and I've never bought them in stores. I did actually buy them in South Korea once at a Daiso, but in America, I always bought mine off of Amazon. I have compression packing tubes that compress with a second zipper. Yes, I've heard about those too. It's like a really zip it shut. Um, do those work well? I've never used those. I've always used the ones that like let out the air. I can understand because I had quarantine in Ukraine a long time ago. Quarantine, man. Let me know in the comments if you have quarantined because then you know. You can't know unless you have. If you haven't yet, it's an experience. People love it and people hate it. And I think everybody feels both emotions at some point during quarantine. And thankfully, this time of quarantine now has been a lot better than my first time was. But started off really rocky, but I've kept myself extremely busy this time. So I'm doing much better this time than I was last time. My bro has them too. They worked well for him. I haven't used mine yet. Oh, that's okay. um, but I think that's really, really cool, actually. The zip 'em shut bags. Maybe Target is just a Midwest store. It's just a chain store. Maybe Target is just a Midwest store. It's just a chain store. No, I know Target. I don't. I love Target. Oh my gosh, the dollar section, Target. Well, I'm already broke, and suddenly I walk into Target and I'm even more broke. I love Target to death, but I didn't know that they sold them at Target. I just buy everything online on Amazon because it's usually just as cheap, if not cheaper, is delivered right to my door, and it refrains me from going to the dollar section in Target. um, also, I get carried away when I go into stores. I remember things that I didn't need to buy. I remember I needed to buy things that I didn't really need to buy. Like, as in, I convinced myself in the store that I somehow need it now, but I didn't need it in the first place. I'm much better at convincing myself out of purchases now that I am more broke. But overall, uh, I don't know. I usually buy less when I'm on Amazon, which usually people say the opposite, actually. They say they get like worse at buying online, but online, I just know what I need to buy and I buy it and I get off. Whereas in Target, I start walking down the pet aisle and it's like, for my future cat, I'd buy this toy. Why not? Maybe cat is just a Midwest store. No, I read that. There are a lot of Target stores in the US. They even have some in Australia. I didn't know that, actually. Where are you guys from? Where are you from? I'm curious, but I didn't know that Target was a reached other countries, but it makes sense. It's all over America and it's amazing. Even in Australia, that's crazy. Yeah, I know. I don't know that. What does everybody know what Target is? Target is like a Walmart. Do people know what Walmart is? It's like a buy everything kind of store. There's like everything: skincare, food, suitcases, uh, pet wear, outdoor wear, video games, makeup. It has like everything. It's like a Daiso, in Korea. Korea really is like the target. Wait, no. Tell me you're tired without telling me you're tired. Daiso is like the target of Korea, and they have everything. I love Daiso. I cannot wait to go to Daiso and get a shower filter. Any of y'all coming to Korea, immediately go to Daiso and buy the $5,000 won shower filter. It's got like a white thing in it that filters out all the gook in the water. You'll thank me in advance because the water here in Korea is so different and it really breaks people's skin out. People like can lose their hair and all of this like really horror stories. But wholeheartedly, like please buy a shower filter and replace it often. You'll see in the shower filter, like when it gets discolored, a lot of people have skin problems and they don't know what it is, and it's the water because they're not filtering it. So make sure you go to Daiso and get a filter. How dare you compare Target to Walmart? I know. I'm so sorry. Target is far superior, but when you're cheap like me, you end up going to Walmart more often than Target. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Target gods. You're not like Walmart. You're so much better. Don't send your wrath on me. Yes, Walmart. Daiso is a chain from Japan. Love Daiso. Love Daiso. Didn't know it was from Japan. Just knew it was in Korea and knew I loved it. But now I know something else. Thank you for that information. That's actually cool. I didn't know it was Japanese, but that makes so much sense now that I think about it. It's like Walmart's classy, cooler. It's like Walmart. Target is Walmart's classier, cooler cousin. Love that. I absolutely love that. Chrissy, you're cracking me up. That's such an accurate way to put it. Classier, cooler cousin. Oh my gosh. Okay. Megan, you've said it like 45 times. Wow. This is an hour and a half. And it went so fast. And this was so fun. I don't know if you guys had as much fun as I did. I'm the one that's kind of talking a lot. Costco in Korea, yes. And Amazon is in Korea now. Thank you, Korea. Step it up. Step that game up. Hey, Megan, how can you look so beautiful at midnight? Girl, thankfully it's a crappy web camera, but my skin has been haywire since I've been here. Now I know why. Yes. Get the shower filter tomorrow. They're only 5,000 won, and they will really, they're not going to fix it, but they are going to help. But like my skin, you probably can't see it because I have makeup on it, but like I'm breaking out for days. How you doing? My skin is very, very much not perfect, but I've also lived in China for a while and I've lived in Korea for a while. So I'm my skin is acclimated more to the changing of water. So when I come back, it's not affected as much. When I first lived in China, when I first lived in an Asian country, you could play connect the dots on my face and my back and my shoulders. Like I broke out. If you have acne here, that's from the water hitting like, your skin, and make sure that your shower is not on like strong blast. Weaker blast is better. Get a filter and try not to take boiling lava hot showers. Try to take them like lukewarm-ish. I usually take showers after I exercise because then I like can stand like a cold shower, or it feels good. Your pores are going to like open up and like the gook is just going to like seep in more if you're taking really, really hot showers. So yeah, I hope that information helps you out with the skin issue. It is so bad, and not enough people talk about the fact. I should probably add this in my videos. Megan, come on. The filter thing is so important when you live in any country. It will really get that gook out, and it's not meant to be touching your skin, and your skin will react poorly. So don't feel like you're one in a million. Like, how could this be happening to me and nobody else is having this reaction? Korean people come to America and they break out like crazy. It's just that your skin is acclimated and it enjoys a certain type of water, and then you go overseas and it's completely different. I'll have to try to find the shower filter. I think I just must have been lucky so far that hasn't done anything, but better safe than sorry. Yeah, for sure. Better safe than sorry. And it actually increases the water pressure in your shower. Not that it's like too difficult, like not that it's like It does help it a lot though, because the water has to take the time to go through the filter and kind of like fill up in the top of it. So it increases the water pressure of like even the worst showers. So I really, really recommend it. And it's just good for like your hair, especially in the long term. You might not see it now, but people's hair, they always talk about how their hair is like slowly getting like more damaged, or their skin feels really dry, or they feel like their hair is kind of like falling out. So for sure, I definitely would get the filter like 10,000%. I'll take a few more questions and then y'all need to keep me accountable because I can talk all day. You're like, Megan, go to bed. It's almost one. Um, how do you think live in South Korea? I love living in South Korea. I wouldn't come back if I didn't. I really want to live here for a few years. I would love to live here for a few years. I don't think I can move here per se for life. Like, I don't think I could move completely here and like settle down here fully. I could live like half here and half somewhere else. Or if I married someone that did live in a different country, um, I would be okay with like doing the back and forth thing. But right now, I said this before, but I'm an only child, and I'm really, really close with my parents, especially my mom. My mom is my best friend. My mom's always been my best friend. And I don't think I could just like move away from them. I can move away for like a time, but while they're still alive, yeah, just want to cherish every memory that I can make with them, cherish all the time that I have with them. If you guys haven't seen, it's an old video that's on my channel that I kept. My very first video is me and my mom acting like idiots. And I kept it up there. It's from like 7 years ago. I freaking love that video. So that's my mom. She's crazy. I love her. She's beautiful. She's stunning. I love her so much. And then there's a more updated like quarantine time vlog of like my family and I went on a hike. That just shows you why I love my parents so much. We really are super close. So I can't imagine like permanently moving away from them while they're still alive. Yeah, I'm so blessed by them. So I want to live here for as long as I can, but I like the option to be able to go back and forth. So COVID needs to go. Rona needs to say bye-bye so that I can go back and forth a little bit more easily. um, yikes. That's why I lost so much hair recently. The water, I'm telling you. What visa are you on? Because I heard there's no tourist visa right now. Well, that's awkward because I'm on a tourist visa. Tourist visas are allowed for certain countries. If you head over to your embassy website, Korean embassy website, it'll give a list of what visas are allowed from what countries. And you have to get a KETA, like acceptance application form, if you do want to come on a tourist visa now. So head in the video I just posted about updates in Korea customs. I explained the KETA form. So that would be the video to watch for you. But I'm here on a tourist visa. I'm American though, and America is one of the allowed countries on the list right now. Awesome. I can't wait for her to get to come here. Your parents should come visit you in Seoul or Busan at some point. So my mom has never flown overseas, actually. She is not a travel bug. And my dad is more so the travel bug out of the two of them. But my dad still hasn't been overseas a lot. I was like the first person in my family actually to really like go and live abroad in multiple places. So she is not for, I don't think she would do that as much as I would love for her to. My dad would though. So if I do stay here, I do think my dad would visit me. And I love him too. I just think it's like my mom has been my best friend for so long. So, but I love my dad as well. My dad's the provider for our family, and I cannot thank him enough for all of his constant hard work and support. He has supported me through every dream that I've had. He supports me on this trip, even though he doesn't love it because I'm so broke and I don't get a lot of money from YouTube. He still supports me so much. And so I'm so appreciative of them. Yeah, my parents seem playful, so good that your relationship with them is great. I'm very, very lucky. Not many people, not everybody has a good relationships with their parents. So I'm so blessed and thankful to have the parents that I do. Have any of your online accounts been hacked since your visits in Korea? I've been getting hacked left and right. Oh my gosh. I've been a prime target for hackers. I'm so sorry. That's awful. Thankfully, I have not had any of that issues, but I do have a Mac. I have all Apple stuff. I know. I'm sorry. Don't hate me, all you Galaxy lovers. I'm so sorry. I don't have anything against y'all. I'm just a pro Mac person, okay? So I don't know what kind of computers that you have. I really, really recommend that you get a VPN. I talk about VPNs in my what to download on your phone, like apps that you should download on your phone before you come. And I use a VPN a lot myself. But VPNs, I don't know if you know what a VPN is, but a VPN is like what does it stand for? Private virtual private network or something. If you want to, if the best way I can describe it, and it was described to me as like a straw that can like cut through any blocking, like you yourself, if you put your VPN on, it's like a straw and you can like go and like you're connected immediately into whatever country you place it down in. And so it's like you can basically virtually put yourself anywhere. And I usually put it back to my home country. And so I can like watch like Netflix shows and stuff like that that are in America. I don't really watch Netflix, but other people do that. But it helps you to be able to like kind of block, it does help you block other people from hacking you because they can't figure out where you are and there's no like you're not connected to a, you know, when a cafe will say like this network isn't very strong or whatever that word, it's like not really that private of a network or something like that, so it'll be like beware. That's a reason why you want a VPN, is it'll block hackers and it makes everything that you have like an electronic device safer and less people can hack it. So verified private network, there you go. I don't know what it, I don't, or is that what it is? I actually, what does VPN stand for? What does VP, I put it in my video, but now I'm forgetting what it's called. VPN, virtual private network. I don't know what I said before, but that's what it means. Virtual private, it protects you from other people like hacking your stuff, and it allows you to kind of like place yourself anywhere in the world. So people like try to hack you and they're confused because they can't tell where you are, all this stuff. But yeah, I really, really, really recommend if you've been getting hacked, really with VPNs and all this insecure networks are over here. That's crazy. I've never had a problem ever in my entire life. Like any content, I've never had any problems with uh, getting hacked, but I also make my passwords really like kind of crazy. So insecure network, yes. So I would be careful. What VPN are you using, if you don't mind me asking? I don't know a ton about VPNs, but I've heard some good and bad things about certain VPNs. But if you've already been hacked, it's like so hard because like it's a lot easier to be. If you've already been hacked, then like your information's out there. So for sure, you should definitely like right now change all. Well, once that we log off of here, because I'm going to leave here in like a minute. But I said 5 minutes, like 10 minutes ago. Definitely go in and change every like your passwords. I know that's really annoying, but change all of your information and then click the buttons that say log me out of everything else. It's going to be annoying to have to like relog in, but like it's just not worth the headache of having to deal with all of the hacking and stuff. But I'm really, really sorry. Nord, yeah, I love Nord. They're the ones that I've used too. You'll have to let me know if your VPN is letting you see US Netflix. I was trying to watch Great Britain, but I love Great British Bake Off today. Yeah, my VPN allowed me to watch everything. It's like I'm in America. Like, um, the VPN allows you to put yourself anywhere in the world. So I just would put myself back into America and it doesn't know where I am. So it just assumes, oh, she's in America. So here's all the American shows. So yeah, when I came here, if it wasn't for my VPN, I couldn't have watched any of the shows I was watching on Viki because even though they're Korean shows, they're not offered in Korea. Don't get it. Don't understand. So yeah, so I use NordVPN as well. I linked in the description of the apps to download for your phone, Nord, and I explain like why I like it and stuff like that if you need more information for that. Man, my ExpressVPN has been acting up then. So you do have a VPN. It's probably Express. That's probably why you said that, didn't you? Yeah, okay. Then maybe that's weird. Maybe, yeah, your VPN isn't triple check to make sure your location is, like, on, it's in the right place, like, the app is allowed to run at all times, like, there's no, like, cutting out of the app, do you know what I mean? Like, make sure that the app is allowed to run at all times. This is the last question, Tavin. Is it Tavin? It's a cool name. I really like that name. This is gonna be, like, the last question that I answer because your girl has been getting up at, like, 7 AM every day because she can't sleep in for some reason. Um, oh, I heard Netflix was cracking down on them. I heard LA and Chicago and Seattle. Interesting. Then maybe it's just the VPN itself. But anyways, countries I've traveled to. In my Instagram bio, I have, like, the flags of all the countries that I've been to. If you were wondering what that was, now you know. But I'm American. Obviously, Americans always travel to Canada. Yeah. I studied abroad in London. I love London. It's, like, my second favorite city to South Korea. Like, would love to move there 100%. I visited Spain, while studied abroad in London. I went on a choir tour. I used to sing a lot. I went to choir tour to Austria, so that was a beautiful trip. I also went to Scotland when I was studying abroad in London. I lived in China for a while, and while I lived in China, I went on trips to Thailand, which is beautiful, but I love China more, but, uh and then South Korea. Said everything. I feel like I'm missing something. My favorite place is probably South Korea, London. It's, like, between those 2. I would probably have to say South Korea. Yeah. Probably South Korea is my favorite of them all, just because the way of life here is just so me. I love the convenience of everything. Everything is so close. If there's a subway and it's a safe, clean subway, I will live there and I will enjoy it. I get on the subway and I take it for literally ever. I'll just get on it, ride. I will not have a destination. And then I get off at a random stop when I'm sick of riding. And then I explore where I am. And I highly recommend you guys try that too. It just helps you to get to know an area, and also, like, eventually, once you figure out where you are, helps you to get to know an area, helps you find, like, the great cafes and the great restaurants that you never expected to be able to find, creates a great story, and, that's actually when I studied abroad in London, there's this park called Hyde Park. It's, like, beautiful. I found Hyde Park from doing that. Like, I literally had never heard of it. I don't know much about places before I go there. Sometimes I have information, but I learn when I get there and I, like, ask natives and I just ask around. And I had heard a lot about Hyde Park, no idea where I was. I went on one of those little subway adventures, got off, and I love that. And that was, like, one of my favorite days. I actually wrote my initials. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I did. I might have put my initials on an object, like a park bench when I was there and had that experience. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. Anyways, but that was when I was stupid and young, right? I'm still stupid. But yeah, definitely I would do that. Happy to share any pointers, but I think it's just a really fun way to just turn a boring day into, like, a fun day, going on a subway adventure. Good night, Generation Z. Hope you sleep well, Generation Z. That's a fun YouTube name. Do you recommend meeting people in Korea, both other foreigners and natives? All right, this is the last question. Do you recommend meeting people in Korea? How? Wow, tell me you're tired without telling me you're tired. How do you recommend people? How, Megan? How? How do you recommend meeting people? Bumble BFF, 100%. Get on Bumble BFF. It's weird to swipe for friends, but people do it. A lot of solo travelers do it. I was doing it. I don't think I'm on there anymore, but I was on there at one point. I might download it again, but Instagram, feel free to reach out to people. And if you find that they're living in Korea too, like, why not? But I'm meeting up with a bunch of people who have, like, reached out to me. And obviously I got to know them a little bit more. Or we just connected on something. So Bumble BFF, that, and then look for, like, events that you could meet people. Like, there's a lot of like meetups or like English cafes, or like the English cafe will have like a Korean slash English meetup so that you can do a language exchange. Looking for stuff like that. That's the best way to meet, probably, if you are looking to meet native people, are like meetups like that, because there aren't a ton of foreigners on Bumble BFF, but or there aren't a ton of Korean natives on Bumble BFF, but there are some, and that's how I've made some friends. But yeah, Instagram that and those meetups. And then once you meet one person, they can introduce you to other people. So it's all about connections. So just, even though Bumble BFF is a little strange that you're like swiping for friends, it's worth it. And it's how I met a lot of other solo travelers and a lot of people I vibe with really, really well. Um, oh yeah, girl. Yeah, I'm meeting up with you. Hi. I completely like, I'm falling asleep at this rate. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. So I'm usually a night owl and I don't get tired. Now I'm getting tired. Um, Hope you have a good night's sleep. Good night. It was so nice to talk to you guys. I'm so glad that you guys could come on here and yeah, just hang out with me and get to know you guys a little bit, but also feel free to reach me on Instagram if you want to hang out and meet more. I feel so stupid that I didn't realize you at first. I'm obviously so tired, girl. I'm so sorry. And I'm like, duh. I also like on Instagram when I'm meeting so many people, like the names don't resonate with me until I see you face to face. Like I need to see you and put the name with you. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, thank you guys so much. I hope I answered some of those questions. You're like the coolest person ever. Say it. Be friends with me. I hope that I can do this again soon, guys. I hope that I can even do this maybe weekly. I don't know. We'll think about it. Have a wonderful night's sleep, or have a wonderful rest of your day. And I will talk to you guys in the next one. Annyeong. Bye. Everyone like this video. She deserves it. Mwah! Bye, guys.